Hello and welcome to gskptv, also known as Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach, where we do reviews on movies, TV, books, life, current events. It is so good to see you guys today on this May 22nd, 2026. It's been a couple of days, a couple of weeks here since I made my last video. But as you know, I'm back on the workforce. I want to say happy birthday to all the May flowers. Happy birthday to you. Hope you're having a happy and safe month. Um, you guys, since the last time I made a video, there has been a lot going on, and I'm sorry for the hits and misses here. But as I said, I've gotten back into the workforce, and life just be lifing, honey. Life just be lifing, and working these 12 hours, and being a lady of my age. Honey. Yes, girls, y'all. I be tired, honey. I'm thankful, but I be tired. We need some milk. Yes, God. Oh my goodness. Again, I'm so glad to see you guys here on gskptv. Thank you for joining me. Hello to all my peach trees and my sunflower seeds. You guys are the best for sticking in here with me. I sure appreciate it. Now, guys, what we're going to talk about today, Lord, is the Kevin Hart roast. It is a special that's showing on Netflix. I know I'm kind of late and short and all that stuff, but I happened to watch it the other night. I'm blessed to have a job that, I can take my computers to work and I can kind of review and look. Actually, there's a whole lot of stuff that's been going on that I wish I could have done, but I was able to watch the Kevin Hart roast. And you guys, it was just, it was a mess. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. So let's pull up a little bit of it, and I'm gonna have it playing in the background because I don't know if I can actually play the audio of it. Um, I'm sure I could, but I'm not going to because it was so. First, let's pull it up. Kevin Hart roast. Y'all, this right here, in all my years, I have never seen such coonery and just blatant racism. This was horrible. Do you hear me? I I forced myself to watch this. And for 2 hours and some change, these Peckerwoods, these crackers these honkies said some of the most vile and racist things to these coon ass niggas that were setting up on this stage, grinning, clapping, and cackling. They were the most stereotypical niggas performing that I had ever seen. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I was so mad when I got through watching this. I was livid. I could not believe that in 2026, these niggas got up here and allowed for this peck of wood, crackers, to set up and blatantly hurl racist comments at them, to them, about them. Now, let me say this. I'm not surprised at Kevin Hart doing this. I'm not surprised at Cheryl Underwood doing this. But I was surprised to see Regina Hall. I was surprised to see Lizzo. I couldn't believe that those two were on that stage allowing that. Now, I've got to give Regina Hall credit. She didn't do a lot of laughing out loud. She had a smirk on her face most of the time. But she didn't actually laugh out loud and step and fetch it and grin and pantomime and coon like Kevin Hart did, like Cheryl Underwood did, like Lizzo did. I could not believe, and the Draymond, the basketball player, who I'm not familiar with, but with his, as black as his ass is, he sat up there and let them crackers. They might as well have said nigga. They said everything else. Shane started out making jokes about lynching. Shane, whoever this Peckerwood is, because I don't know who he is. He said the most racist. Cheryl Underwood, her husband, who took his own life, he made jokes about the death of this woman's husband. And she sat up there and grinned and clapped. And then when she was able to get up and make her speech, which was okay. First, they introduced her as a person that used to be very foul-mouthed. Okay. And then she got right up there and was more foul-mouthed than anybody. But she kind of cleared the air. I'll give her that. You don't need a speaker. Your phone just she did kind of clear the air. Sorry about the technical difficulties there. But yeah, she did kind of clear the air. I might have to kind of sorta. I'm trying to give her some grace here, but I was so ooh Lord, I was so mad at them folks for allowing that. I just couldn't believe it. And then when she did get up to speak, she was just as vulgar and inappropriate. They have, you talk about cussing. They cussed for the entire 2 hours. Everything vile and nasty and just cuss, they could say they did. They did that. They did that. They just said anything that came to their minds, anything that just come up, they said it. They did that. They had, Lord, they talked so filthy. They did. They talked so filthy, Lord. They really did. And it's like, are you serious? You mean to tell me? But as I was saying, they introduced Cheryl Underwood now as a Christian comic. That means she no longer uses vulgarities and things of that nature. And she got right up there and said everything vulgar she could think about saying. And now, again, I'm going to give her a little grace because she did kind of clear them crackers. She did that. And she did kind of clear them a little bit. But she could have done better. She could have done better because they talked so terrible, Lord. It was horrible. It was just, I was so mad. Regina Hall didn't say nothing. She got up there and acted stupid and ignorant and dense like a blonde, and she talked just as nasty and filthy as she could talk. Then the white woman, I can't think of her name, that been with all the black men, like a whole lot of them. So that don't make her special, but she, her notoriety is she slept with 50 cents. So whatever her name was, is, or whatever. But I can say this about her. She didn't get up and make racist comments. She didn't do that. She got up. She was funny, you know, all that good stuff or whatever. She was respectful. She cussed. She said vulgar things too, because I think that was what they had to do, part of the repertoire or whatever. But they got up and they said, she said, but I can give her that. She did not make any racist comments. But everyone else, white, that got up and said something, and except for, I think, the little man that had on the red suit that was supposed to be Eddie Murphy or something, or I don't know. But he didn't say anything racist. But every other white person that got up and said something, it was a racist, and I'm talking about blatantly racist comment. I cannot believe, but yes, I can, but I cannot believe that they allowed this to be aired. But of course they would allow this to be aired This was denigrating black folks. Of course they would allow it to be aired. This was insulting African American people. Of course they would allow this to be aired. As I've said on several occasions, any other group would not be subjected to this kind of disrespect and insult. No other group. No other group.
Geesh is a mobile app that live captions every call, regardless if you're receiving or making.
No other group. Sorry, guys.
Live transcribe feature, which is perfect for when you're chatting with.
No other group. We are the only group of people that is publicly humiliated in this way. Even the Mexicans that they are shipping up out of here with the ICE would not allow for this. You guys, excuse me, I gotta get a pillow for this old back of mine because I'm so short and I can't back up. If I back up too far, I won't be able to reach my mic. Sorry about that. And I don't know why I ever took my pillow out of my chair. But anyway, as I was saying, no other group would be treated like that. In the last 6 months or so, every time you turn around, one of these old funky ass incidents, as they want to call them, is happening. You know, they insulted Michael B. and Mr. Delroy at the Baptist. And what makes it so bad is this is the consensus all across the world. Way over there in the UK somewhere, they calling us niggas. But they steal everything we do. They say everything they do. They do their damnedest to look like us. They do their damnedest to smell like us. And then turn around and do things like this. And have the nerve to tell us to get over it. No other group of people do they do that to. I don't want to hear about they do the homosexuals that way because they don't. They know if they don't know nothing else. They know them homosexuals sure don't play. They wouldn't dare when it comes to the homosexual. They wouldn't dare. They would not dare. But when it comes to black people, And that's only because black people won't even come together enough to save their own reputations. They are the only group. We are supposedly, I don't know if I'm a we, I'm just going to be honest, because the things that they're trying to accept and push as our black African American or whatever, black American, that they are trying to push as culture, is not culture. It's not mine. It's not mine. Squatting and popping and wiggling your ass and half naked and talking stupid and backwards and inside and out and all that old foolishness. That is not culture. That's nigga mess. Okay? That's what that is. That's not culture. Okay? I don't care what nobody say. I don't care who don't like it. None of that. I do not care. That mess with young black women up gaping open, and every time you look up, they got their asses turned up to a camera, wiggling it half naked. That is not culture. Nah. I don't care who don't like it. When they have our young black men standing around on the corner with their pants hanging off their butts and they cussing and they high and they drunk and they this 24 hours a day, 900 babies, all that old foolishness, that is not our culture. That is nigga mess. I don't care what color they are. Okay? And accepting the word nigga and bitch as a term of endearment, that is not my culture. I don't care who does not like it. You are not going to make me accept that as my representation. Just like I don't accept watermelon and fried chicken. And stepping and fetching and grinning and blackface and all that old foolishness, that's not my culture neither. That's what these Peckerwoods, that's what these crackers try to tell us our culture is. I'm not accepting it. And for these niggas to set up on this stage and accept those Peckerwoods, them crackers, saying the most heinous, racist things that they could possibly say, and they sitting up there clapping and grinning and cooning, was one of the most hurtful things I've ever seen in my life. In 2026, this was shown to millions of people. This is the Kevin Hart roast. And this was supposed to be a heartfelt themed roast. So this is how you tell someone that you love them. And I don't want to hear that about, oh, it's just jokes. No, it's not jokes. Jokes are, why did the chicken cross the road? That's a joke. Not making fun of someone losing their lives. That's not a joke. By self or otherwise. That's not a joke. Talking about how black and ugly. That's not a joke. Talking about mistreating my people is not a joke. And for these coon ass niggas to sit up here grinning and clapping and stretching their mouth and eyes and up pantomiming for the good white folks. It's not a joke. I wonder how the ancestors feel about that. Since they be so-called woke. Looks like everybody on that stage was asleep. There is no way I would have participated. But as I said, Cheryl Underwood let them know. Though she sat up there and participated, she let them know. If you say it, you won't make it out of here alive. Now she did that. I'm gonna give her a little props on that because she said she did get up and say that, and that wasn't on the teleprompter. Now I can give her that. She said that part. But Kevin Hart roast was horrible. And if I lose some people because of this, I'm sorry. And this is the thing that kills me, is they get up and say nigga all day. I'm talking about the black folks. Not one of them said cracker, peckerwood, honky, none of that. Not one of them. And they had some of the most racist peckerwoods, crackers on that stage as of the modern times. Now they did that. And them coons, not a one of them got up. Not one. Got up and said anything racist about them white folks. They should have let me come. Because I'd have aired them right on out. They should have let me come out. Ooh, Lord, have mercy, Jesus. I have to ask. No, I don't. No, I don't have to ask nothing. I sure don't. And I don't have a problem with people's races. I don't. I really don't care. But when it comes to this behavior, oh yeah. I got some words for them just like they think they got words for me. As you can see, okay? as you can see. And I can say them with my whole chest, just like they can. Sleep just as good. Eat good. You see me. Don't faze me in the least. That is what kills me. You brave enough to stand up here and allow them to insult you, but you're not brave enough to insult in return.
He needs some milk.
That's what kills me. They can get up and say nigga all day. I have yet to hear one of them say Peckerwood, cracker, honky. They'll say these white folks is in here, so I have to. But they saying nigga all over the country, all over the world. They're making jokes about your forefathers. They're making jokes about the little boy that was in Georgia that was unalived by putting a rope around his neck and throwing it over the limb of a tree. That's what they're making jokes about on the Kevin Hart roast. That was just 2025. That wasn't back in the 100,000s. That was 2025. And these coons let these crackers get up and make jokes about it. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. But they thought this was funny, and they thought this was appropriate. And that Shane Peckerwood got, oh, and I called her. And she said it was okay. And Cheryl Underwood standing over there grinning and clapping and stretching their teeth. Loading slowly. Optimize the back. Yeah, they did that. And they are proud of it. That's what kills me. They are proud of it. That's the part that gets me. They think it's okay. That is the part that gets me. They thought that this was a good thing to do. That is the part that gets me. For these are the kind of niggas. Oh, they just words. They don't mean nothing. Again, tell that to the young man that they found in the park down there in Georgia. Tell that to the young man that was found on a college campus hanging in the commons of a school. That was 2025. Before you want to come out here talking about that was so long ago, that was 2025. The young black truck drivers that they have been finding hanging off of bridges, that was in 2025. So don't tell me about that was so long ago and to get over it like you Peckerwoods love to do. Now, mind you, I didn't say white people. I didn't say Caucasian people. That's not what I said. I said Peckerwoods, and I meant it. We are in a sad situation, especially as a people, if we think that this kind of behavior that they have paid millions of dollars to create, to make millions of dollars off of, your black ass standing up here cooning for them. If you think for 1 minute that you did something great, Kevin Hart, y'all, you a lie and the truth ain't in you. You disrespected our people more than they did. You disrespected us more than they did. I can get over them saying the things that they said because that's expected of trash. That's what trash does. That's what Peckerwoods do. That's what honkies do. That's expected of them. That's what crackers do. Decent, kind, Caucasian white people, they don't do that. That's not what they do. They find it just as despicable as I do. They find it just as boring as I do. They find it just as horrible and hurtful as I do. This was the most shameful act that I have seen in all my years. This was real live Uncle Ruckus behavior. No if, no ands, no buts. And then they have the nerve to set up and say, this is the most black friends Kevin Hart ever had. And I guess now Kevin Hart calls himself removing himself from. And if it wasn't for the black community, there would be no Kevin Hart. We need to let them have Kevin Hart. We need to stop support. But he wouldn't care because now them crackers are supporting him. So he's in heaven anyway. We need to let them have people like this. They could have had the roast. Lord knows they could have had the roast without all those racist, hurtful comments. Kevin Hart, I hope that your grandmama ain't still alive. Or your great grandmother. I hope she's still not here. This was so embarrassing and hurtful for you to stand your little old bitty black ass up there and let them crackers talk to you like that. This is the worst display of coonery I have ever seen in my life. 2006. I've never seen coonery like this. Even them that was up there with y'all's administration sucking up his behind. You have maximized the coonery. I cannot believe you. I cannot believe you. This was horrible. This was horrible. It needs to be taken off of the air. But of course it won't be, because that's supposedly hurting us as the people. Not supposedly, it is. It is. This only gives more fire to those that think, oh, it's just a joke. But you won't think it's a joke when your teeth end up in one part of the room and you're in another. It won't be a joke then, because a lot of people, black, white, and other, they don't tolerate that kind of foolishness. And when that happens, you need to accept that as a joke too. You need to accept that as a joke too. Don't take it to heart. It's just words. It's just this. It's just that. When you are in one part of the room and your teeth are in another, please feel the same way, okay? It's just jokes. Okay? When somebody's foot has to be surgically removed from your behind, remember, it's just jokes. Right? Because they already feel like they're embraced, they've been emboldened to do that. Because they're a little funky administration. See? Again, this was absolutely, I'm just at a loss for words. It was absolutely horrible. It was. It was so, I'm so glad that my grandparents weren't here to see it. I am so glad. I haven't even told my mom, because my mom lived during them times. And my daddy. And my grandma. And my grandfather. I haven't even, and I normally talk to my mom about the same things that I put on my little podcast thing here. But I could not. And though, I just sit up and talk about these things or whatever, these things hurt my heart. They do. They bring this kind of behavior, it brings me to tears. I can't stand it. When I think about people that are fighting and dying for our rights every day. And then you get these coon ass niggas that come up and set it back 100,000 steps. It's just painful and it's hurtful and it's just sad that you don't love yourself enough to stand up for yourself. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
He needs some milk.
What is wrong with you? I didn't say to hate anybody, but respect yourself and who you are. Because just as fast as them crackers let you in, they will kick your black ass out. Nah. Ask P. Diddy. Ask R. Kelly. The list goes on and on and on. But you niggas can't seem to learn. You coons cannot seem to learn. But y'all is lapdogs for them crackers. But it's all right. You're going to find out. You're going to learn. You're going to learn because they're not going to allow for you to outdo them. They're not going to allow for you to have more than them. No. They're going to let you know just where you stand with them. You can believe that. You grinning and stepping and fetching now, but it's coming. You can believe. You can. Just as sure as I'm sitting here talking about it, you can believe your day is coming. And then when it does, don't come running your ass back over here to the black community and I just love my people and all that. No, don't want to hear it, Shannon Sharp. O.J. Simpson. Don't want to hear it. Going back over there where your love is at. For all you niggas running around here talking about you don't relate. Stay right over there in there when they show you that you relate. Okay? You guys, I think I've come to the end of my little rant and rave and whatever about the Kevin Hart roast. Again, it was the worst display of coonery I have seen ever. And I hope that somebody gets Kevin Hart and sets his little old bitty ass down somewhere. I am so sick of hearing him screaming. Kevin Hart was one of the funniest comedians when he first came out and was relating, still being himself as an African American person. Now, Kevin Hart is a little bitty screaming coon. That is all Kevin Hart is. I saw Kevin Hart losing himself when he was in the movie Soul Plane. I hate that movie. That's some more coon nigga mess. I cannot stand that movie. I knew right then Kevin Hart was going to be a coon. And here he is cooning. Anyway, again, I want to thank you for joining me here on GSKPTV, also known as Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach. Thank you to all my peach trees and sunflower seeds for joining me today. And if you are a new subscriber, I want to thank you for joining me. You guys, I cannot do this without you. I love it. I love it. I love it. Again, to all the May birthdays, happy birthday. As I always say, we gotta wash our hands and wear our masks in crowded areas. All them things that were going on is still going on. They're just not talking about them as much as they used to. You guys, this is GSKP TV, also known as Georgia Sunflower, Kansas Peach, and as I always say, I am my brother's keeper. I love you. Bye.